Hey, good
Well, I
evening.
mean,
We are playing.
yeah.
We are playing a game of Advanced Labyrinth Lord using the Black Pudding Design number 1. All the character classes will be from Black Pudding issue 1. The title of this adventure is Howling in the Rotbutter Forest. Our adventurers are moping themselves over one of those cattail elves at the Copper Tiger Den, wondering where they're going to make their next copper, their next silver, when in bursts the town crier announcing the Baron has made a proclamation allowing adventuring companies to once again go forth and adventure in the Rotbutter Forest after it being closed for 10 years of government protection. So, what are you waiting for? Think of all the undiscovered treasures there in the forest waiting for your greedy little hands to fill your empty belt pouches. As we do, Daniel, what kind of class are you going to be playing? And tell us what you think as you see the town crier posting the proclamation.
So I'm playing Beth, Beth Death. She is a fighter who specializes in wearing little to no clothing. She's a chainmail chick with a big old sword, and she wants some loot. So Beth's ready to go. She finishes off the large ale that she was drinking, looks at her henchman, uh, and says, "Well, we don't have to wait to put my armor on because I'm already wearing it." And then she gets up and grabs her large sword and starts heading for the door.
Yep, as Beth begins to do that, sitting there at the table with you is Rush. If you can tell me about what you're going to be playing and what your thoughts are about the opening the Rock Butter Forest again.
Sitting there would be Digby Bronwyn, and he glances about the tavern, looking at the peasantry and gentry. Sitting there is obviously the only master of the sword. He looks around, enjoying this paltry drink that they dare call ale. And he reaches down and he pats the two curved short swords at his side. And he notices the flame haired, silver bikini wearing maiden who gets up with a sword. And he's like, I like the attitude on that one. And he sits for a moment. He goes, treasure and fine women. Yes, this is the stuff that Digby's made of. And he stands up and he begins to make his way towards the door, following behind Beth Death.
All right, as Digby makes his way, we scan to the table and see the last character sitting there. Crystal, if you can tell me about who your character class is and what you think about the Rock Butter Forest being opened up.
As they walk towards what they think is an empty corner, suddenly a gauntlet reaches from the darkness and places itself heavily upon the table. And out from the darkness, a voice says, "You seek adventure." And two piercing red eyes glare from the darkness as a void resembling something of a heavily armored male appears within it. And then, for your convenience, he swipes his hand across the candle to light it, and says, "So do I." As he makes room for his adventurers to join him.
Yep, and roll me a d6 real quick, please.
Okay. Five.
All right. I will send you this file so you can have it for your little henchman that is going along and helping you. You have. All right, it should be there. Henchman Hunley 5.
I got it.
All right. You all make it out on the street there and start, preparing, maybe buying any last minute gear and equipment as you see a bunch of different adventuring companies getting together. And, it's like the gold rush. Everybody wants to make haste because, as you know, the forest has been under government watch over for like 10 years now. No one has been allowed into the forest. So everyone is making their way there to see what they can discover. As your group begins to head that way, the Rotbutter Forest is very large. I mean, you could stay there for days and days upon end, going through different places of it. You head out to the general area of maybe where one of you knows something about. You begin that first day there. The weather is fairly nice. It's probably early autumn. Not too cool yet. The nights, of course, will be cooler, but the trees still have some foliage on them. You head out into the forest. You begin your first day looking around. You hear most of the forest animals and stuff. They, not being used to a human intrusion again, seem to scamper and scatter away from you. As night begins, you find you a place to camp out that first evening. Fairly open area surrounded by trees. But how would y'all like to set up your camp for the night?
Nightshade would offer to take the darkest watch in the night.
Digby would look over to Beth and say, well, if our dark friend is going to take the middle shift, then I shall defer to you, my flame-haired maiden. As long as I get my beauty sleep, I care not if I take the first or the last.
I see. Well, it doesn't take me long to get my armor on, so I don't need to get up too early. So perhaps I will take the first watch.
So be it. And I shall take the third.
The third
Yep,
shall
and
be
your
yours.
henchman will, sit on watch with you. Is you find enough of things to get a fire to keep bright around the camp all the night, unless of course Nightshade wanted to extinguish it during his watch.
Yeah, I was gonna. He won't completely extinguish it, but he's gonna bring it down like real low, like basically the embers if he can. He'll keep it as low as possible. But he'll keep it to where it can easily be fed by the next person.
All right, Beth, you begin. Great way to start out. Beth, you begin your watch. Roll me a D6.
Sure. 2.
A 2. You start hearing some noise, like it almost sounds like a it's some type of bird or something, because you can hear the flapping of the wings, and you listen, and you get it's getting closer, and maybe at first you're thinking that it's a large flock of maybe different birds or bats or something coming into the camp. But as you look and see, you see this giant vulture that flies in over to your camp, headed straight towards you. And it definitely doesn't look too friendly.
He plugs an arrow through its heart.
All right, you're going to try to attack it?
Yeah, if it's flying towards us, I say, I know what's for breakfast. And I lift my my bow and aim and shoot at it as soon as I can.
Yeah,
And I
roll
tell,
initiative. It's we'll do individual D6, and if you got a Dex mod, add or subtract it.
okay, the henchman will be with us or individual
Yeah,
with everybody?
henchman will just go with you.
Okay. Got a 3 plus 1 is 4.
All right, Beth on a 4. The other two are sleeping right now. Yeah, but this thing is big. I mean, you've never seen one this big. I mean, you've probably heard stories about them, but this one's pretty big as it's flying into you. As it surprises you, you would think, because it got a 6. And it is going to fly towards your henchman, it looks like. As it does, it kind of slows down and starts putting its claws out towards. Ooh, and it's going to hit the henchman for 2 points of damage.
Okay. So Tiquil was reading his book of elvish poetry, softly to himself, and then when Beth was like, "Quick, wait the others," he stands up, and as he stands up, he gets right in the path of the bird who cuts into him. He's going to run and try to wake the other two while she. I'm assuming it's swooped down and it's not just standing there, right?
Yeah,
So I
it's
guess
just kind of swooped down. Exactly. It's kind of
okay. So I'll still
floating
shoot.
in
I'll
the
still
air
shoot with
there.
the bow. So I got the bow in my hand, so I'll shoot it with the long bow. Okay, so that's 10. It's in short range if it's right there. So that's 11, 12 with the dex. So 12 hits AC 6.
Your arrow barely flies by it as you barely miss it.
Back, you fiend!
And you
That was
send
just
the
a warning shot.
henchmen to wake up Digby and Nightshade.
Yeah.
That's what they'll be doing. So we'll go to the next round right now. We're back to this vulture deal. It turns its attention towards you, Beth. And let's see. That is going to hit armor class 6.
Okay, that does not hit me. I don't have my shield up, but that shouldn't hit me still.
Yep, it misses you then. It's trying to engage you there, though. So we are
Yes,
back to
it
you,
swoops
Beth.
down, and its claws grab like right on to the little bit of armor that I have, and it doesn't quite penetrate. And I say, "That's not proper." And I with my left, I guess with my right hand, because with my right hand, I draw my sword because it's right up on me, and I try to slash it with my sword.
All right.
Bastard sword, one-handed. That's a 14 now, plus my 2 hit with the sword is better because I got strength. So that's a 16. So 16 hits AC 2.
Yeah, that hits it.
Okay, and it's a one-handed bastard sword, so it's a D8. So 3 plus 2 is 5 points of damage.
Yeah, you knock quite a bit out of it. It still seems to be alive and squawking and stuff, but you definitely knock a bunch out of it. The henchman is waking up Digby. Digby and you, Nightshade, are being woken up, so you can roll a d6 if you got a dex mod at it for initiative.
Well, I rolled a 1, but I do have a dex mod of +1, so I guess a 2.
All right, 2 for Digby. What about Nightshade?
I'm sorry. Initiative, right?
Yes, sir.
5.
All
It
right,
is a D6 plus Dex, right?
correct.
Yeah, so 5.
Yep. We go back to the creature with a 6. It sees the rest of them stirring. Let's see what it's going to do. It's staying. It tries to bite into the chainmail chick again, maybe seeing some of that white flesh. It is there, so it's going to try to bite in. Ooh, it's going to hit the chainmail chick this time, but only for 1 point.
Ouch. You foul beast.
And we are up to you, Nightshade, as you see this giant vulture, huge vulture, bite into your friend.
How far away is it from me?
Oh, 30 feet or so.
Okay, so Nightshade is first going to grab a hand axe and throw it at this creature.
All right.
So let's see. Oh, nice. I rolled a 19.
Yeah, that would definitely hit, I would think.
I know I have maybe some kind of negatives or something, but I'm pretty sure to hit because my fact goes an 18. So yeah. And then a D6 damage. And then that'll be 6 points of damage. Max damage.
What does your hand axe do to finish this thing off?
Yeah, so like it bites her, and like as its head is on her, and like she's like feeling the like feel it trying to like swallow her or whatever. Suddenly she feels like a thunk, and the thing just like slowly lets go, and then its body just like falls over to the ground. And when she looks behind her, she sees the hand axe that just made the perfect like split right into this thing's skull.
Yep.
Well done, Dark Knight.
And Digby claps his hands. He's like, "Yes, very well." Can you not hear?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rush.
Yeah.
No, Crystal was saying hello. So
Sorry, for some reason all of a sudden my sound stopped working.
oh, okay.
I got you back now.
Yeah, Digby's just like, well, yes, well done, well done. Well, I reckon I'll get back to bed since my services shan't be needed. And he just kind of drops back down and rolls back over onto his bedroll there.
So since we're up, well, I'll pick up the hand axe, the black hand axe out of the creature and toss it back to blackmail, and then I will instruct Tequil to start plucking the vulture so we can have some chicken soup.
Vulture soup, yep. And
Fine breakfast.
have him roll a D12 as he's over there doing that.
Okay. Tequil got a 9.
He actually finds like attached to one of its legs. He finds like this small leather pouch, and you find that number of silver pieces that's in that belt pouch of it that's attached to this thing's leg.
Oh, 9 silver pieces, nice. He looks at it and he kind of looks around. He's lawful, so he's like, I guess I gotta split this with the party.
Huh.
And he notes it. Is there a binding in this or no? Right?
Yeah, there is. If you the rest of you get D3, you can rest the rest of the night that you rest, and in the morning you can recover D3.
Oh, perfect. All right. So once I get off my shift, I can rest. So for now, Beth will look and be like, maybe I shouldn't have went with the micro thong because the creature got through and scratched a little bit on my bum.
And it did.
Yep. And then she sits down with her resheathes her sword and sits down with the bow, watching for any more vultures to come and listening to the sound of as the gross sound of the feathers being pulled out of this vulture.
Yep, you listen to that the rest of your shift. Finally, the vulture is picked and cleaned and thrown into the stew pot to cook the rest of the night. You wake Nightshade up. Nightshade makes the shift without anything happening. Nightshade, you're able to get Digby up. And Digby makes it through the rest of the shift. And morning of day 2 in the Rotbutter Forest makes it. Without any other casualties.
When it's Nightshade shift, he turns up the heat on the stew a little bit so that it burns just a little bit.
Huh.
Oh. You ruined the stew? That's not very nice.
It's black like my soul. It's now black like my soul.
Shame. Waste of a good fowl, but so be it. He digs out his own rations and eats. Makes his own little breakfast.
Oh no, I totally eat the burnt bird stuff.
Okay. To each their own. And, she'll drink a Slim Fast Shake.
I'm a Dark Knight. Come on.
Yep, y'all begin the.
You just don't understand that. My whole world is black. I see a red car, a red door. I want to paint it black.
Yeah, that sounds like vandalism to me.
So,
do the henchmen also heal, Tony, with the rest, or only the PCs?
Yeah, the henchman can heal, sure.
Okay, because he took 2 points, actually. Oh, he gets 2 back. All right, good. So he's back. Tickwill's feeling good. He's a little sad that he spent all that time plucking the vulture, only to have it burnt by the questionable cooking styles of the Black Knight. But he'll eat a little bit just because, he feels, just in case Beth dies, he might need another job. So he wants to make sure he appeases everybody.
Yep, and y'all begin the second morning. You go for a couple hours deeper into the forest. Then you notice that there's looks like what appears to be a small base of a hill rising up on the edge of the forest area where you are. As you begin making your way up to that way and looking at this, you start noticing there appears to be like these old standing stones that are stacked up on the top of this hill that are standing up. And something else strange happens. You start walking up towards the hill, maybe to get a closer look. And the wind seems to pick up. The wind is getting a little bit gusty, not enough to, of course, blow you over or anything, but the wind starts picking up. And all of you hear like an eerie, almost like a howl that fills the air on the wind, flowing through the wind that you just put off to the wind. But you're looking at this hill range, this very small upraised hill that has all these standing stones in various places.
Huh. Well, they say about standing stones. And then she just doesn't answer and keeps walking forward.
I glance at the others and just like I'm
Much
expecting
better.
more.
I like rolling stones better.
Well, a rolling stone gathers no moss. But it's the moss that we want.
Any particular order y'all want to head up to this hill? Of course, you can go side by side, or it's out in the open. So,
Yeah, unless anybody else wants to go first, Beth will go first.
If we're out in the wide open, I would just walk as a there's no reason to go single file, so I'll just walk up beside Beth if she starts off first.
If it's daylight, I imagine I'm probably lagging a little bit. If we're gonna have any kind of like back of the group, I feel like my character wouldn't be up to par right now.
all right,
They're trying to, block the sun out with their eyes and stuff.
We'll show you a little bit behind them then, and be fine. And as you all make your way up there, like I say, the wind has picked up some, and every once in a while you hear like almost what you would think would be a howling on the wind itself. Beth, you and Digby both roll me a d6.
Okay. 6.
1.
Digby, you see it first as you're making your way up there, trying to see these stones, and you can tell maybe some of the stones appear to have some type of old ancient writings on them, but something else catches your eye over close to the next one of these standing stones. You definitely know it's a body, and you can tell it's a large humanoid body laying face down and wearing some type of armor.
Does it look obviously dead? Or
yeah, it's not moving at all, exactly.
So I'll just kind of take my elbow and nudge Beth in her arm and I'll pull my swords as I do it, and I'll just take one of my blades and point ahead to right where the body would be. And I'll say, look there.
Oh, maybe somebody got here before us. That means all that's going to be left is copper pieces. Damn it.
Not necessarily. Obviously, who got here before us didn't leave.
Well, that's a giant, isn't it?
Yes, which means he can carry more treasure.
You make a good point. Well, only one way to find out. I'm assuming we're on horses. Is that true?
You would probably actually be on foot, I would think at this point.
Okay. All right, then I probably have my shield on my arm because I always probably carry it. So I don't put my shield on because I already have it. I'll draw my sword and I'll kind of like do the chin thing, like let's go, and we'll just start walking up there.
Yep, you move closer, and as you get up there and get a better close, you can tell it's a human. You can tell he's a very large man, probably 6'6", very large build man, laying face down, and you notice he appears to be he's in chain armor, and it like blood. You can see blood dotted around on the chain armor itself as you get closer, and you can tell it hadn't been here long. I mean, probably within the past day, you would think.
Huh. Looks like the early bird really did get the worms. Well, the worms will be eating the early bird in this case.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I never understood why people wear armor like this. It's like, clearly it doesn't work. It's not covering the important parts.
I mean, you're not telling me anything. I don't wear armor. You wear more armor than I do. I just have a fancy for fine clothery.
No matter how much armor he wore, the most important thing is that he has reached the darkness, the true eternal sleep that drives forth for each of us at any moment.
Your sound cut out again. Or maybe it's just me. It might be just me. Sorry.
I heard her. We got an emo in the group. Might just be you guys.
I got a message that says my internet connection is unstable, so that's bad news. All right, it's just me. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So Beth kind of looks at well, she's kind of looking in the direction where she thinks that the Black Knight is, but because she can't really see him that well, because she's oh no, there he is over there. Yeah, I guess. But I always thought the afterlife was full of sunshine and daisies. That's gonna suck for you. I hope that you don't die. I'm gonna be honest right now. And then she's gonna tell Tickwill to see if this thing has any loot on it. So like Tickwill, see if that body has any coin for us.
Yep, and it's this body's lying face down. You want to flip it over?
Yeah, we'll flip him over.
There's two things, or really three things, but two things first noticeable. You notice as soon as you flip the body over, both of his eyes have been plucked from their sockets.
Ooh.
Then you notice on his neck, there's like all these slashes on his neck that you would probably think caused the death. I mean, you see clotted blood up and down the front of the body, and you start noticing a blood trail that's leading off. But you also see he's got some type of belt pouch on the front of him that wasn't visible until you turned him over.
Ah, Tickle will take a check at that.
You open up the belt pouch. There's 11 gold pieces in there, in this small vial that has like a blue-looking liquid in it.
Nice. Tickle looks at it and he once again regrets that he's lawful, and then says, looks like we've got some treasure here. We're doing pretty well. I'm excited to be on this adventure. And he smiles. He's a bit of a dreamer, Tickwill.
It's a start, but I like your enthusiasm, young man.
Thank you.
Now, I'm Digby's going to actually walk over and inspect the stones to see if he can figure out what these are.
Roll me a d20 against your intelligence, and you need to get under, equal to or under.
It's going to be rough. Nope. Got a 19 over 12.
Yeah, you have no idea. I mean, when you're looking to writings and stuff on them, you've never seen anything like this before.
Well, they're definitely rocks.
Oh. Well, I see this blood trail here. Can I figure out where it's going to?
Yeah, you can definitely see follow it pretty easy with it being fairly fresh. You would think in the past 16 to 24 hours it's been left there.
So I'm gonna say to Digby, I'm gonna say, Digby, look at this scratch on my butt. Now compare it to the neck. Does it look like a bird might have done that? Because I know that birds sometimes take eyes like ravens, and then she sticks her butt like kind of in the air above the thing, so you can compare the two.
So he sheathes his sword because he wants to make sure that he does a thorough job to inspect, and he gets down and somewhat blushes as he inspects Beth's butt at the scratch, and looks at it and looks at the scratch, and he looks back at Beth's butt. And he goes back and forth about 5 times before he feels that he might start getting figured out. And does it look like it's the same kind of injury?
Do me another intelligence or wisdom, either one.
All right, my wisdom's a little better. I did make that one. I got a 12 under 14.
Yeah, by looking and observing, you would think the neck marks that's on this the guy's neck in the chainmail, but it's from something else that caused it. It doesn't look like some type of a bird did the neck wounds.
I would look at Beth and I say, well, from what I can tell, the mark upon your flesh is not nearly as bad as the mark that as whatever injured this man, which is a good thing. His is much worse. So
yes,
I think your wounds will heal nicely.
Yes. Okay, so it's not a bird. She says, I mean, I have been told that I've got quite a firm buttocks, so perhaps that helped resist it. But if it's not the similar kind of mark, it could be something else. What kind of creature would take the eyes of a man? Oh, that's ghoulish. What do you think?
The eyes are merely the mirrors that we use to look into our souls and see the blackness that is around us all.
Right. Well, I mean, I usually use the mirror to fix my hair and stuff. Kind of shrugs. Having grown up with like an emo sister, she's like used to that. So she just kind of looks and then says, all right, go put the cure on. And then she's going to try to follow the blood.
Yeah, you follow the trail. It's fairly easy to follow. It's leading up towards these standing stones, and you probably go what you would think 100 feet as it follows up to what would be one of the largest of the standing stones here. And when you get to it, let me scroll down a little bit. You get up to it, and this is what you notice, I think. Let me look at one thing. This has almost box text. I know Daniel likes box text, so I'll just read it to you.
Love me box text.
A large tombstone bearing the swirls and crescent moons typical of the region stands here. In its shadow is a root-ridden old stairway leading down into the earth. Peering to the dimness, you see that the stairs end only about 10 feet down where they meet an earthen floor. The smell coming from this hole is that of an old cellar, long abandoned. Here and there you can see shattered remains of skeletons as if some battle had taken place. So you can definitely tell the blood trails leading down into this opening into the earth below this standing stone.
We see skeletons down there now. So I'm sorry, I know you said this, but I didn't note the exact amount of time. But how long has the forest been closed?
10 years.
Okay, so not long enough necessarily that something would be stripped to us. Well, actually, depending on the weather, it could go to a skeleton in 2 years. So, yeah. All right. So she's figuring it's not from since they opened, but it could be as recent as the last explorations that came into the forest. So she turns to the group and says, an underground passageway. And then she flourishes, to let the darkness pass.
Nightshade for sure. If he sees a cave, he would say, yes, the abominable void that will allow me to absorb in the radiance of the darkness. Get me from this accursed sun. Let my soul be dark, and he will enter into the cave.
Yeah, it's not really per se a cave, but I mean, it's underground for sure.
Dungeon.
I'm sorry, my sound cut out again. I don't know what's going on with this headset.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you cut out right when I was saying I was going into the cave.
Yeah, so I could say it's not really per se a cave. I mean, as you would think a cave. I mean, this is more of an underground passage leading into, more like a dungeon area or more of a chamber or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he'll enter.
Yep, and as you enter down, here's the box text for it. The steps lead down to a square burial chamber. The floor of this dark room is nearly covered with bones everywhere. The walls are nondescript stone covered with spider webs and seem to be cracked with time. You notice what appears to be skeletons and different type of bone just scattered all across the floor here. You would think probably just a quick look that there'd be at least 20 different skulls mixed around.
This place welcomes death. Death embraces it with his cold, clammy hands. The bones of his soul have extended onto this place, is what Nightshade will call out to the others. They're waiting outside the tunnel.
And Digby will
Is there any
respond.
treasure down there?
I see no treasures, but it does continue, right, Tony?
It does. Yes, it does continue. It sure does.
Yeah.
But it leads further into the void, the cataclysm of darkness. We can proceed.
I look over at Beth and I say, that chap is in most desperate need of a hug. But I shall not be the one to deliver such things, for I am frightened. But let us go. And I pull my swords out and I motion to Beth and I say, after you, fair red.
Do you have some kind of light source?
I do have a lantern.
All right. Do you have a henchman?
I do.
Okay.
So I'll hand the lantern over to Resman and say, make yourself useful.
I have a magic user who is a magic user. They've been following along. Their name's Hunley. They're pretty quiet. They don't talk much. But he'll step up now, and he'll say, I'll take the left for you. I can do that. I have no, I only need one hand for my spells.
So then I motion to my henchman, to Rummet. I say, yes, like I said, give the lantern to that man. Let him make himself useful.
So while they get the lantern figured out, Beth will, with her sword drawn and shield on her arm, she'll walk down into the darkness, at least to the bottom of the stairs, and wait for the lantern bearer to come down.
Yeah.
All right. Are y'all going to? Go ahead, Crystal.
Nightshade will stay ahead of the light. Like, so if the light goes out like 30 feet, he'll be like 40 feet out.
All right. Are y'all going down to Beth and Digby? You're just going down to the first room where all these skeletons are, or you wanting to proceed on as Nightshade is, or what?
Well, we'll come down to the first room, and while Nightshade's moving forward through the darkness, we'll take a look in here with the lantern because I'm curious.
Both of y'all roll a d6 in if you want to kind of look around in this room, the skeleton
Do a
room.
little search. 3.
2.
Digby, you or your henchman, doesn't matter, either one. Roll me, you find something, but roll me a d20.
3.
All right, roll me a d4 now.
Okay. 1.
A 1. You find the handle is wooden and stuff. I mean, it's very weathered and aged, but you find actually a decent shovel with it's not rusted or fucked that you would think that you could probably still use if you used it carefully, but you found a shovel.
I pick it up and show it and look it over and said, looks rather new.
That's quite a prize.
Not a prize, but perhaps a clue. This shouldn't be here. And if it should be here, it should be rusted and with rotten wood and rusty spade, but it's not.
Well, now the wood itself, you can tell is very weathered. Just to clarify, you can tell the wood, the handle and stuff's very old. The actual shovel part of it at the end, though, is not the spade part.
Oh, okay. I got you. So it's been here a while, but apparently the spade is made of a fine metal.
Interesting.
I hand it to Resman and tell him, put this in your pack. So I take the shovel.
So I'm assuming that we're acquainted with the way that Nightshade operates. So I guess when Nightshade's far enough out that we're okay to follow, he'll give some kind of a signal.
Yep, that works. And Nightshade, as you've progress on, you probably go that 40 feet like you wanted to through this. Seems like you're going down further down into the earth. And you come into this room you would think is about 30 by, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 30 by 60 roughly. This is what you see. The short, dank passage leads down a steep incline that ends in an oblong room decorated with moons and stars. The ceiling, covered in cobwebs and mold, once boasted an ornate map of the night sky. In the center of the room is an oval basin in the floor. It looks like it might have been a shallow ceremonial pool at one time. A few skeletal remains are scattered here and there. The pool still contains a few inches of water. And that's what you see, Nightshade.
Into the womb of the earth we have traveled, and her embrace wraps upon us. We have found in the void, beyond sadness, a room made to honor the sky and the eternal void that surrounds us all. Nightshade announces.
Oh, Digby, you're muted.
Sorry. And Beth is not here, so oh no, they're back. So after Nightshade does his little spiel, Digby kind of leans over and says, so did he find something or not? I can never tell.
I believe what he's saying is that we should come forward.
All right.
No, he's saying you found a chamber that's like 30 foot wide and that there are stars written on the ceiling. Do you guys really not understand it?
Hush,
I know
peasant.
he has a dark, soul, but...
Hush, peasant. Quiet and do as you're told. And he starts to make his way down the hallway.
Yep, Beth and Digby, you come into that chamber. It appears to be about 30 by 60 with as described.
Oh, that's exactly what he said.
Dimensions are only a mirror into the void, past our reflective gazings.
Curious. There seems to be an awful lot of skeletons down here. And we haven't seen weapons, right? They're just skeletons.
Yep, so far you have not seen any type of weapons.
Had death cult, and they drank the poisonous water. Or they just happen to die here. You can never really tell.
Perhaps a creature from beyond the celestial plane has visited itself upon us and brought death with it.
I'm going
In
to pick
that
up like.
shade, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beth.
Well, I'm just going to pick up like a femur or something, and stick it in the water. Like just tap, like stick the piece of it in the water, and then stick it back out and see what the water's like.
Yeah, you stir the water up. I mean, and once you get up there, you can tell it appears to be like maybe some animals have been coming in here, like small animals have been coming here and probably drinking the water. You see some footprints of small critters and stuff. The water is not clear, but it's not very dark. I mean, it's just maybe some natural water that's coming up from the ground itself.
Excellent. So I think it might be fed by some kind of a stream, a spring, I should say, versus the fact that it leaked in from the roof.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
In that shade, you notice at the far north corner of this room, on past the pool, what appears to be a hallway that continues on down, a narrow hallway.
Perhaps we should continue around the pool that seeps eternally into the abyss and proceed further upon into the womb of nature herself.
And does anybody want to look around this room?
Yeah, I'll say to Nightshade, yeah, I think you should go forward. And then when they do, because I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
I would search the room because we had to wait till they get ahead of us anyways.
That's what I.
Yep, Digby and Beth, roll me a d6.
I got a 3 that time.
I got 2 that time.
All right, Beth, roll me a d20.
20. 13. Ooh, lucky 13.
You find digging around and looking there, you find a holy symbol that appears to be made out of some type of wood, but there's got like brass inlay and carvings on it. If you look at it real close, it is a picture that you would definitely know would be a dwarf by the way the deal is, but it's a very fat male dwarf that is completely naked, showing everything.
Oh man. So Beth sees this and she goes, "Oh, I didn't know the dwarves, had such revealing holy symbols, shall we say. But I was always curious what a dwarf looked like naked, and now I know. And I kind of wish I didn't."
Yep.
I know little of dwarves other than their penchant for fine craftsmanship, so I know nothing of their religion or of their ways. But they do tend to be, or they do seem to be sprightly folk with their religion. Disturbing, though, for they have reputations of being very tough, very hard men and women. And yet,
well, I mean, this guy looked pretty hard here.
Yeah. He blushes a little bit. He says, "Not exactly what I meant, but to find did we find this thing on the dwarf remains?"
No, it was just in the ground and stuff there.
Okay. If there's a dwarf holy symbol here, then it's safe to say there are probably dead dwarves here as well. Not a good sign.
I agree. This could be the remnants of a previous adventuring party exploring this area. With all these skeletons around, could be that some type of dwarven cleric. I've heard that there are rare cases of dwarves that could actually be clerics. Where I'm from, dwarves can't be clerics, but some people think that's okay. And if that was the case, perhaps the dwarven cleric destroyed these undead. So I guess we'll find out.
Indeed.
As we hear from our dark friend.
Nightshade, you proceed up to that goes down to this hallway. You know, and when you get up there and see the door has been kind of pushed down. Part of the door has been pushed down, pushed open, and is kind of hanging there. You notice on the back of the door that there's like a inlay of a moon, of the moon itself on there. As you're looking at it and stuff, roll me a d6.
Okay. 5.
You are not surprised as you're looking at this inlay and you hear the noise and look up at the top of the ceiling as these two giant spiders crash down next to you. So everybody roll initiative. And what did you get, Nightshade?
2 total.
All right. What about Digby?
I'm sorry, I thought it was just Nightshade that was doing that.
Well, you'll be into it after because you're probably 30 feet from them.
Okay, what did you want me to roll again then?
Initiative D6.
Oh, I got a 5 with my bonus.
All right.
Well,
what about our chainmail bet?
4 with the bonus.
Digby, you're up first as you see these two large spiders drop from the ceiling and land right there next to both of them, next to Nightshade, who was kind of inspecting the hallway y'all were going to go down.
I'm going to try to push the rock again.
It pretty much looks like they're going to be right on top of them.
Yeah, they're both right on top of Digby. I mean, I'm sorry, right on Nightshade.
Okay. So then I will forego my sword dance. I'm going to step across right to the one next to Nightshade and commence to the whack attacks.
All right.
But I'm going to reduce my damage to D4s so that I can get 3 attacks this round instead of 2.
All right. You need to hit AC 6.
Okay. 1, 2, and where's 3? Okay. So that means I need 11s. Yeah. Well, I hit twice.
All right.
4. Sweet. I hit 7 points of damage.
What do you do to destroy that one that you went after then?
So I go in and with the first swing I come across and I miss. And then I realize, oh, yes, there he is. And I turn both swords over like this, and I just bring both of them down into this spider's body and pin it down to the floor before I draw my swords back out again. And then I just kind of roll them back up in my hands, and I, doing a little flourish, I turn toward the other spider.
All right. Beth, you see this going down as one of the spiders hits the ground.
So I see that Ginsu move, and I come charging forward with my bastard sword. I have my shield, so it'll just be one-handed right now. And I swing at this thing with a 13, 14, 15, so that's going to hit.
Yep.
And the damage is 7.
What do you do to decimate this one then?
Nice.
He comes in, does all that flourishing, and Beth just charges forward with the bastard sword and just comes straight down and just cleaves this thing in half. And then goes, I guess 2 little swords equals 1 big sword. And then she kind of wipes it off on the...
Perhaps. 2 different means to an end, my virile and strong woman. 2 different means to the same end.
Well, it all works out in the end when we have 2 dead spiders. And Beth's going to look up to see if there's like a nest up there that might have treasure in it.
You see where they were up there. You see some webs and stuff, but you don't see anything shiny coming from the webs or anything at all. And both of y'all at that point would also see on the back of this door that the hallway Nightshade was going to go down. You both see this inlay, this lovely ivory inlay of the moon on the back of this door.
Mm. I pulled out a cloth and wiped the spider guts from my very fine swords, and I walk over to look at the door and see if I can make any sense of it.
All right,
is it inlay in a pattern or something?
Yep, as you look at it, Nightshade, you've been spared from the spider venom by your friends. Are you going to continue down the hallway?
Nightshade's gonna slink off quickly and quietly into the darkness so that no one can see him hang his head in humiliation at his two friends rush these spiders and kill them before he could even draw a sword.
Yep, and I will tell you what you see first as you begin the passageway, the hallway. The passageway before you stretches out into total darkness. It is only wide enough maybe for two people to walk abreast, and the walls, though partially overtaken by earth, still show their ornate reliefs, images of animal sacrifices and cult worship. Earthworms can be seen riddling here and there in the ground in different places on the wall. They're crawling out of eye sockets of skulls on the ground and stuff as you begin your way down that hallway. And we'll go back to the two there. Digby, you start looking at that deal. You can tell this thing is probably somewhat valuable. You know, if you pried it from the door and wanted to take it, you could probably, you know, maybe it would fetch about 10 gold if so you sold it somewhere.
I turn to hold on. Keep forgetting his name. I turn to Relmit and I say, take your dagger, dig this from the door, and place it in our pack.
All right, he's going to pry it for you. All right. He pries it from the door, off the door, and make me a saving throw for him. It will actually be, it just says 1 on your sheet, but let me find my book because there's actually a 0 level deal. I think it's going to get you against spells. I want to say I think he needs a 14, but let me make sure.
I'm pretty sure I didn't make it. If I got to roll over, I only rolled a 12.
Oh, no, he'd need 18 against spells. Whew. Yeah, so he fails?
Yeah, I rolled a 12.
All right, I will send you a message on what he feels, and his hands and stuff tingle, but it also is going to have a mechanical effect. All right, there's you some quick information.
Okay. I know that, but Digby would not know that, though.
All right.
That's correct.
No, I mean he knows it's something strange when it tingled and stuff. He definitely knows it's strange when it tingled on him.
All right, and so then I would follow behind the rest.
All right, Nightshade, you begin to make your way down this hallway. It goes for quite a long ways. You're going 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, about 80 feet down, you would think. As all of y'all make your way down there, everybody make me a, let me see here how I want to do this. Everybody make a save against, we'll say breath attacks. The level zeros, your NPCs will need a 17. But everybody else, whatever your normal is for breath attack.
Both of mine made it, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 20 for myself and a 17 for Relmit.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, I rolled a 17 for you, which makes it, then a 2 for unfortunately.
All right. We'll start with you then, Beth.
Nightshade makes it, but his henchman does not.
All right, Nightshade. Everybody that made it, you hear like a quick hiss as all these darts shooting out from various places up and down this hallway, hitting all up and down in this hallway. The ones that fail, you will take 1 point of damage as these darts poke into you. Those that saved are able to jump out of the way quick enough.
Tikwal says as he gets stabbed.
How much damage?
1 point. But those that failed, make another save after the dart hits you.
There it is.
Failed again.
Yeah.
Failed again.
You'll take another point of damage. Keep making saves, and you take 1 point of damage or until they die. So
Failed. That's 3. 1 more. Failed again.
yep,
Tickwell.
the poison is taking over Tickle then.
Both of mine failed twice more. Before the magician, before he goes down, he's gonna look at someone who got hurt, and he'll say, "Quickly! There isn't much time. You must let me do this." And he'll reach out and he will put his hand on them, and wherever the hole poked, the dart poked a hole through their shirt, he'll mend the hole, and then he'll say, "And now I die in peace," and he dies.
All right, what about Tickwell's last?
Tikwal, he gets hit with the dart, and he knows he's kind of he's never been very good with these kind of things. Like if he gets sick, he's always the one that stays sick the longest. He knows this is not going to be good, so he pulls out his book of elven poetry and flips to the page of the poem that he reads over and over about being in the fields and the beauty of the sun, and he starts to read it, and then the book drops, and he looks up at the dark roof of the cavern that he's in, and he falls to his knees and dies.
All right. Those two, unfortunately, did not make it then.
Yeah, so Beth is gonna grab up the pack and his little like shoulder bag that had his stuff in it, and she'll take the bag of poetry, the book of poetry, and put it there, and she'll say, "I'll always remember you, Tikwil. You were a fine worker."
So
it will come back to your body, hopefully.
Did my armor keeper take a ride on the eternal train of darkness? He was he mended my armor so well. Now I have to find someone else who possesses the skill to freely take the dents from my heavy armor. I got nothing.
I turn and I put my hand on Relmit's shoulder and I say, "This, my friend, is why you're my favorite." And I turn and I look to see if Beth did in fact pick up the book of poetry or not, or did she leave it?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want it. She puts it in the bag.
Well, if you took the bag, he's not going to say anything. So he's like, well, onward then, I guess.
Yep, you move onward. Nightshade, you get down to the close of the end of this hallway, and adjusting. Of course, you're adjusted to the night vision itself, but you see at the end of this hallway, kind of curled up, almost in a fetal position, is this human, and you hear him mumbling. That you get closer, you can actually hear him mumbling very quietly to himself as he's just sitting there in the corner.
Since he's hard to see in the darkness, It says, I don't know if this was supposed to be taken literally or not, but it says on my character sheet, in the shadows, you're as hard to spot as a secret door. So I'm guessing that he could try and sneak up with a 2 and 6.
Yeah, you want to sneak up to him? Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna try and sneak over to him.
All right.
Oh, do you want me to roll it?
Yeah, sure.
Roll it. Okay. 4. So he believes he's sneaking up anyway. Even though
When you get closer, he turns to look towards you, and you see some of those darts poking out of. He's wearing like a leather type armor, but you can see some those darts poking out of him, and his eyes are just wide. And he goes, oh, "Mumbles, the shadows of death. They're in here everywhere. You've got to. You should leave now. Don't go any further. They took my friend. They chased him down and killed him. The shadows of death."
Indeed, the shadows of death, the entanglement from the void threatens us always in the cosmic scale of nothingness from which we exist.
The rest of you, as you're moving down, you can hear Nightshade's voice, and then you hear another human voice talking to Nightshade, just yelling out and muttering something about shadows of death.
No, no, he's not a shadow of death. That's just our friend Nightshade. Who's out there? Where's the treasure? I mean, if you know where it is, it'd be nice to share with us because we are good warriors and we just lost 2 people, so we can use some help.
There's nothing but shadows of death in here. You need to leave. I'm not. He starts coughing and hacking. And as you all get up there, you see the man in leather armor, and he goes, "It chased my friend down. I guess it killed him. I don't know where he went."
Oh, perhaps we can save your friend. Did he go forward or back? Because we didn't see anybody back there.
He went that way, and he points back the way you come.
Oh. Was he wearing chainmail armor?
No. Look. Watch out. It's above you. Watch out. It's fixing to get you. And he starts pointing towards the ceiling.
I'm going to drop to my knees and put my shield over my head.
Yeah. I'll step back and pull my swords and immediately look up.
Nightshade will stand there. He's not too worried about it. Death may curse it upon us all.
This guy is pointing towards the ceiling. Whoever looks up there, there's nothing there. Just a dark ceiling. Then he looks towards you, Nightshade, and he grabs hold of you and he goes, "Listen to what I have to tell you." And he starts trying to whisper in your ear if you'll let him.
Nightshade is like, look, I respect you as a person, but I'm not really into that. And he starts pushing him away.
As you push him away, he looks at you and he goes, "Shadows of death." And he falls over dead.
Well, glad we got that last little bit of information out of him.
Indeed. The entanglement of death is a constant threat. Some people are afraid to go to the eternal void. So I welcome her cold embrace.
Yeah, not exactly what I meant, but yes.
You want to loot the body?
Yeah, search the area.
Yeah, you see he's wearing like an old set of leather armor. It's kind of very poor repair and rough made. I mean, it's probably you wouldn't want it, but you do find a fairly nice set of thieves' tools on him and a dagger and just a normal dagger. And inside a little pocket inside of his clothing, you find a little pouch that has 3 gold pieces.
In the scale of life, we all suffer pain. But this man's life seemed to be more suffering than others with the skill sets and that he seemed to possess. He was a thief.
So do we take? I guess we take the pouch and follow down further.
Yeah, Nightshade, this is what you see as you get to the very far, just past where this guy was kind of huddled down. The hallway ends, and there's a short set of stairs that lead down a few feet to a very large worship chamber. This appears to be the primary place of worship and reverence. There's a pile of rubble against the wall opposite the hallway that appears to have once been a great statue, maybe a statue of a goddess. You can still see her ornate hair carved from stone lying in ruin amid broken rubble and bones. Bronze braziers arranged around the room's walls are mostly overturned. Some of them may even house nests of small furry creatures that scatter as you enter. This room is huge. I mean, you would think it's probably 80 by 80. It's square, but I mean, it's a huge, huge room, the largest room you've been in.
How big was it again?
Approximately 80 by 80.
That is huge.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge, huge chamber here. And the ceiling itself, you would think would be a good 25, 30 feet high by looking at it.
So I'm going to go ahead and I know it never got stated because I wasn't thinking about it, but when Nightshade's magician died, I would have made sure to grab my lantern back from him.
Yeah.
So I would pull Rummet up and have him just kind of shine I tell Nightshade to shield your eyes or whatever, and have Rummet try to shine the lantern so we can try and get an idea of what's in the room, at least as far as the lantern will light.
Yep, you see these brass braziers that are scattered various areas of this large room. You know, none of them are lit. Some of them are actually overturned and knocked over. You see the large broken statue back at the very far wall. I mean, it's 60 feet from where you've entered here on past in the middle, kind of a middle room. You can tell it's broken.
Can we upend one of these braziers and see if we can if there's anything around that we can put in it to get it lit so we don't have to hold a lantern? Or is it?
Yeah, you can actually, you can go over to one of them and mess with it and probably set it back up.
No, that's what Beth will do. That way we don't have to hold the lantern while we search, because this is a big space. We want to spend some time searching probably.
Yeah, and once you get to them, I mean, what's your strength?
16.
Oh yeah, I mean you can do it, but once you get to them, you see they're very heavy. They're probably once you get them set up, they're probably 5 foot tall, and you would think at least weighs 200 pounds. But I mean, you're able to get one set back up, and you want to try to light one of them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Make me a save versus dragon breath as you put the flame to it.
Boom, dragon breath 19. My breath weapon is 15, so that's a save, successful save.
As you do so, you take 2 points of damage as you hear like
Ouch.
a gas noise come from underneath of it and just woof, erupts into flame.
Oh, jeez.
And you can tell it's probably some type of something that is, you start smelling the gas up underneath it, that these things are probably fed by some type of gas source. But yep, you're not able to get out of the way as you take 2 points of damage as you light it back up.
Okay, but now it's burning, and I think it'll continue to burn, or do I think the room's going to blow up?
Yeah, it's actually, you think now it's probably going to burn safely, but once you've got it back going.
Excellent.
The statue that you can see now, let me see if there's a better description of it. Once you get over and look at it, it's what you can tell. Most of it's broken in two, but you see like part of the face and stuff is like some type of goddess, and you see like moon carvings and different things of the moon and stars around it. So you would probably deduce, all of you would probably deduce, or one of you at least would deduce this is some type of moon goddess or star goddess. It's very ancient.
But not of a religion that we would recall right off the top of our heads.
No, nothing at all. I mean, it doesn't ring a bell at all by looking at it.
A goddess who served the void. What could be more desirable find than this?
Then how big is
How big is the creatures that run out that surprised you? They're dog sized.
Oh, awesome. I was going to ask about the statue, but hey.
Everybody roll initiative. They did surprise you, so they're
holy shit, he wasn't kidding.
Yep, Digby, what did you get?
I got a 4.
All right, what about Nightshade?
5.
And Beth?
2 this time. I was fixing my hair after I got fringed.
You see these 2 dog-sized spiders run out from the corner over there past the statue. They're let me describe. You've never seen any like these before. They are actually red. Their whole bodies are red, and on the backs they have like this large black dot centered on their backs. And they're about size of a dog. They both run out towards. Let's see. There's 2 of them. One of them is going to run out towards you, Nightshade, and as it does, shoo, like this web comes shooting out from it and just encapsulates you as you are stuck in this web. The other one is going to run out towards Digby and shoot this web to you, but Digby, you're able to get out of the way. There's this small web shoots out towards you. We are up to you, Nightshade, as you are stuck in this web.
Can I hit one of them with my sword?
You are not close enough to it. It is probably 20 feet away from it, and you are completely encapsulated in a web and can't move.
Can I cut through the web with my sword?
You can begin to cut through it. Yep, you sure can.
Yeah. So that's what Nightshade will do then.
All right, Digby, we're up to you then.
And the web missed me, you said?
Yep, the web, you were able to get out of the way, or it was just misjudged exactly as it went past you and landed on in the middle of the chamber.
All right, and just sorry, how many of them were there again?
There's one on you right now, and one that shot the one that got a Nightshade.
Oh, there's one right on me. Okay.
Yeah, there's about, it's 20 feet or so.
All right, well, I'm going to close the distance, and we're going to go in on him just like we did before.
All right.
So 3 attacks. Him. I don't know what I need, but I know that's a miss.
You need AC 6.
Okay, that's 2 more hits. I missed with the third. Keep hitting 2 out of 3, but hey, that'll work. 2d4. Holy shit. Do you get to add your strength modifier to damage in this one?
Unless that sword slinger has something different, huh?
I'm sorry, what?
Unless the sword slinger has something different that it gives them instead of strength.
It just says I can use dexterity for my 2 hit, but for damage, I didn't know if Labyrinth Ward took the +1 into consideration for damage.
What is your strength?
My strength is a 13, which gives me
okay. No, yeah. Okay, I was going to say, because I think it actually would go up to +2 or +3, I think. But yeah, you're not high enough to get that high.
That's a +1 modifier. So, all right, well, if I get a +1 modifier, then I did 3 points of damage because I rolled 2.
Yeah, you strike into this thing pretty good. It's still standing. You can tell you've heard it. We are up to them. The one on you, Digby, is going to try to reach out and bite you now. And let's just see if it can, maybe. Oh, man. Digby is scared of you as it rolled a natural 1. I don't know. It can't web you. It can't bite you. It can't do anything to you. You've got it scared of you for some reason. The one that is over on Nightshade is just sitting there looking at you, Nightshade, waiting for you to give up your fight and hopefully eat you in a minute. Beth, we're up to you.
Okay, so did these things shoot the web out of their mouth, or did it shoot out of that circle on their back?
It actually come out of their mouth area, and you could tell they were small webs, like just of size enough to ensnare one person size.
Okay. So I'm gonna target the one that's on Nightshade, but if I can get to it still and do this, I will. I kind of want to. If it's looking towards Nightshade, I want to see if I can go off to the side a bit, hoping to kind of get away from where the web might be. Like I'm gonna try to come to its side as opposed to running to its face. If that makes sense.
All right.
But either case, I'm gonna charge it and attack it with my sword. Long and short of it will be that. So that will be 11, and the AC is 6. You said I need a 12, so I miss.
All right. Yep, you miss it. Nightshade, we're back up to you. You're cutting your way out still.
Okay.
Digby, we're back to you then.
I'm going to keep attacking the one that's on me. This time I only get 2 attacks, though. You said I need an AC 11. Is that what you said?
AC 6.
AC 6, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Well, shit. I keep missing with one, so I got one hit.
One hit, okay.
Yeah, for 3 points of damage.
You finish this thing off with that, just barely, but how do you finish it off?
Just going in, I'm just doing the dance, and swirling around and just making these little small cuts, and finally just bleed it out to the point where it just gets weak and falls over.
All right. The one that is living, doesn't seem to be scared of the, as it knows it's got Nightshade captured. It is going to turn its attention towards you now, Beth, and is going to reach out and try to bite you. Ooh, that's going to hit for sure. Beth, you'll take 4 points of damage as it leaps into you and bites into you, and make me a poison save. Oh, you muted.
Let's see. I rolled an 11. I got a bonus of 2 on every save because I'm a chainmail chick, so that gives me 13. And my poison save is 12. Oh, I made it. Thank God I'm a chainmail chick.
Yep, you'll just take the damage then. And we are up to you, Beth, as this thing lunges and bites into you.
Okay. So I'm actually going to kind of like slide the shield down my arm, so I'm not using it anymore currently, or drop it, or however you want to say it. I'm going to use 2 hands on the sword to do the most damage because this thing seems pretty threatening. 10 on the die makes it a 12. 12, it's AC 6, which is what you said its AC was, right?
Yep, correct.
Just hits it, yeah. So I come in with both hands, and I just barely get past its armor, but I do 10 points of damage, so I guess it was pretty solid.
Oh my gosh. Well, you do 3 more than it had, so what do you do to it?
Yeah, so it bites at me, and maybe that's why I forego the shield, because it's like on the shield arm, and I kind of throw it down to the ground, and then I just grab the sword in both hands and come down and just cleave right into its skull, and it kind of teeters and falls over. And then I kind of, I do that thing where you look around and make sure everything's dead, like, and kind of breathing heavy, because I'm hurt. My chest.
And about that time, you hear something coming down from the ceiling, and as you do, you look up, Beth, from the ceiling, and drops this sack. Drops down. It was hanging in a nest or something. Drops on top right there next to you. If you want to open it.
Yeah, I'll like poke it like with my foot first to make sure it doesn't jumps out. And if not, then I'll take a look in the sack.
Yep, roll me a d20.
All right. 4.
You find a small bag in there. I mean, like, this is probably a small sack size, but you found another small bag in there, and it has these 2 golden rings in there, and you would think they would be worth about 20 gold a piece.
Nice.
It's pronounced athame.
Anybody gonna help Nightshade out of his webbing?
Well, yeah, when it gets to be my...
I ended up,
so
I
all
went to the AFK channel.
All the bad guys down now?
Yep, the 2 red spiders are down.
All right, yeah, so I absolutely would go over there and use both my swords and just start
But I guess
just
because I
start
wasn't
whacking
talking,
or
it put me in the
cutting.
education. I'm like, oh my
Instead of
God, I
hacking, I'm
can't
gonna
hear anything.
actually make long cuts to try and cut him out quicker.
All right. You're able
Looks
to get him out, work and take and get him out eventually. And looking around this room, you don't find anything really more interesting. There's no more of these red black dot spiders that come out. But both Nightshade, both you and Digby can roll me a D6.
I got a 6.
I got a 4.
Yeah, y'all. I mean, you dig through the rubble, both of y'all, and look around. You don't find any other things that you would think would be any value. You can't really determine anything, like I say, about this moon goddess or anything. I mean, all of you look at it and just, nobody, it just doesn't ring a bell. Whatever it is would be very old, you would think. Nightshade, you notice on the, let's see, it would be the northeast corner and the southeast corner. There are 2 doors, one on each side, that appear to lead out of this large room that you come in.
2 doors that continue further into the void. Shall we seek them?
I mean, there's no reason to turn back now.
Nightshade will continue. Whichever way the others want to go.
Tony, while they were searching, I wanted to look at that vial that had the blue liquid in it.
All right.
That I'm assuming is probably some kind of a potion. If I take a sip of it, will I be able to? I think I'll be able to identify what it might be.
Yep, I will type you a message. It tells you when you taste a little bit of it, kind of maybe what you feel.
So I'm pretty hurt right now. I mean, I'm not dying, but I'm definitely hurt.
All right.
Okay. I'll drink the whole thing then, if that's the case, because I assume that's what it is.
Yep. Roll a d6 for that.
Mhm.
You get that many HP back since you already got the 1 from tasting it.
6 actually, so that actually is 7, which actually puts me on a full. Okay, good. Oh, all right. She drinks it and she goes, by the gods, the moon has served me well. Do you think it's odd that the first violence of this entire adventure was a scratch on the butt cheek, and then we're in the temple of the moon god? Fates work in a strange way.
Indeed they do. Indeed they do.
Yet they all end in oblivion.
God, you really are a ray of sunshine, aren't you?
Yes, I have been
Your
told.
black hole sun.
It's the black hole sun. Since we're at 8:30 and we're about halfway through, do you mind if we take about a 5-minute?
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute break.
All right, thanks.
Good to me.
All right, I'm back.
I'm here as well.
Oh man. All right, now we're just waiting on Digby. And there's Digby.
Digby.
But yeah, Nightshade, you see the door to the southeast corner and the say the northeast corner. Oh, I'm sorry, southwest and northwest. There's a yeah. I said east, but I meant there's one to the southwest and one to the northwest.
Okay, perfect. That's actually better because I was at the edge of my paper.
Huh.
I should probably use a new piece of paper when I do this. I have like 3 maps on this piece of paper. All right.
Or you know what? No, that's still wrong, man. What? I guess my mind's not working. There is a door to the southwest,
Mhm.
southwest corner, and the other one is on the pretty much that would be southeast. So yeah, southeast and southwest.
And the statue's on the north side of the room? Or
Yep.
Okay.
So these doors are kind of closer on the edge of the like the hallway y'all come through to get into the room. They're on those sides of the wall, the south walls of that.
Gotcha.
But you didn't see them, of course, the way they're encased in there when you first come in.
Yeah, makes
With
sense.
as big as the room was.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So that's what you see.
what do you think? East or west? I mean, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So we know which direction old Blackie will want to go.
What was the direction we came from?
On who?
You were traveling us pretty much south,
Which
south
one?
to north, pretty much.
Oh, okay. East or west? I don't know.
Yes, we did.
Let us flip a coin, shall we?
Good. Let me roll and see if something comes after you. Not yet.
Okay. I look over at Beth, and I say, "Call it heads or tails."
Well, tails, clearly.
So here, let's do that again. Heads, because if
Let's
we're
go
giving you the
east.
choice, yeah,
We're gonna go east.
sounds good.
All right. So Beth walks over to the east spot and she looks to Shadow Boy and she says, "Would you like to lead the way?"
I shall lead us further into the eternal void which mirrors the soul within us.
I'll take that as a yes.
Nightshade. Yep. We're going to take it as a yes. Nightshade, as you enter this room, it's very large, but not wide. It's about 30 feet wide, and you would think probably 80 feet long. Large room opens before you, its walls completely covered with moon and star symbols. The floor just inside the door is charred as if something was burned there on that spot. In the back of the room, you can see what looks like 3 stone sarcophagi on a raised platform at the end of this room.
Okay. Only beds of eternal rest have made their home here. There are coffins in here, guys.
Yeah. So let's go.
I mean, yeah, he's already in there.
Are y'all going straight back to the raised platform?
Well, does it do? So I guess when I get to the door, I see that it's all burnt there. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
there's
look.
like a spot just inside that door there that's burned.
I want to look for any sign where that might have come from. Like look to the ceiling for because I got burned from that thing blowing up. So I'm curious if it's a similar kind of situation. Like, do I smell that gas? Do I see any place else that's burnt except for the floor? That kind of thing.
Roll me a d6.
Mhm. 2.
A 2? Yeah, you don't see anything anything above you from coming from the ceiling or the walls. It's kind of a puzzle in a way of why there would be just a burnt spot patch here by the door.
And so she looks around and then she kind of goes, "Well, I had some split end anyway, so it's fine that they got burnt off." And she'll follow in behind the Dark Knight.
All right. You want to all three continue and approach the platform of sarcophagi?
Yep.
All
I'll
right.
take the middle.
When you get to those, you see that there's on top of each of them, there's this inscription that is on each of them. You can read it. It's in common language. "Here lies she who is named below. Speak not her name, but cherish her spirit." And I will type in the names of the 3 that you see. Those are the 3 names that you see. But you notice something else. The middle one, the Zuella,
Mhm.
you notice it's been smashed open. The lid to it has been completely smashed and just lies in almost shatters there. The other 2 seem to be still covered and closed.
I want to look into the shattered one. Does there still a skeleton or a body in there or anything?
There is not. You look in there is not, but you do see something else. You see a gold ring lying
Oh.
there.
Careful. You reach into the casket of a defiled body. Who knows what curses there could be? This is not.
This is true. That is an excellent point. So I'm going to take one of my arrows out of my quiver, and I'm going to use the arrow to kind of stick it in there and see if I can catch the ring on the arrow and lift it out of the
Yeah,
container.
you can do that. You can work around and do that.
Yeah. So I pick it
Not
up.
much trouble.
I slide it in, and I say, "That's 3 gold rings for me." When I get
As
to 5,
soon as you say 3 gold rings, Beth, you are surprised as from the ceiling pounces down on you. The other two see a creature that is almost 5 foot tall, hunched, gaunt, nearly skeletal, wrapped head to toe in rags and cloth and just torn and tattered clothing as it jumps on top of you. Its face is not wrapped. It appears though to be some type of withered corpse with this exaggerated, big, smiling, almost looking mouth. And as it does, we'll roll initiative. It will surprise you, Beth. What did you get, Beth?
my initiative is 4.
All right. And what about Nightshade?
Nightshade is going on a 2.
All right. And what about Digby?
I also got a 4.
Oh, man. So did the creature.
That was a popular one.
But it surprised you, unfortunately, Beth. So let me see what it's going to do as it jumps down on top of you. Let me read something real quick.
Never a good sign when this thing's to read.
It is going to try to claw into you first, and the claws are going to miss. Then it's going to try to bite into you, and the bite's going to hit and do 5 points of damage. As it bites into you and make me a save versus poison.
Oh boy. Ooh, that is a 6 plus 2 is 8. That fails. Oosh.
All right. Nothing right now. You make me
Yay!
The foul beast has bit into my flesh. I don't know how it got past my armor.
Digby, you, Beth, and the creature all had 4s, so Digby and Beth can go first. I guess whoever has the highest dex, if you want to do it that way.
Mine is 15.
Okay, you go. I'm 13.
All right, this time I'm not going to. I'm going to swing a tad harder this time, as opposed to. I want to try and really hurt this thing. So I pull my swords and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I just pull my swords out and I just leap in, and swing. Wait a minute, is it? Holy crap! Sorry.
Bunch of natural 20s?
No, I screwed up my last combats.
Oh.
I wasn't actually. No, hold on. I got to get back to the damn sword slinger. Hold on.
Huh.
But my come on. There we go. Yeah. It's 3 of 2. So all right, yeah. So it's 2 this time, 1 next time. All right. I had it right. Sorry. I'm not used to having multiple attacks. So, all right, here we go. Well, one of them is a 15, which I'm pretty
You'll need an AC4 if I forgot to say AC4.
All right, well, one of them's a definite hit. One of them is a natural 1.
All right.
So I don't know what that does.
I'm not going to do anything with that.
Okay. The D6 plus 1, so that's going to be a 5.
5 damage, okay.
Yeah.
You strike into it, but it doesn't howl out or anything. So Beth, what would you like to do? Is this thing is bit into you, but it also, Beth, at the top of your deal there, you'll take 3 more points of damage as this poison starts to go in your bloodstream.
It's burning my flesh. Is it actually like on me? Like I have to worry about that, or can I just fight?
I mean, it's on top of you trying to claw and bite into you still, even after being hit by Digby.
All right, because I'm just trying to look at I was trying to quickly look at the unarmed combat because I want to grab it and it just has, actually, it doesn't say anything. So I just want to grab it. I want to try to grab it on my back and try to throw it back into the coffin. So I want to get it off of me, basically. If it's physically on me still.
Yep,
If I
you
could
can,
throw it off
you
me.
can try to do that. We'll just say a regular attack.
Okay. That's a 12 plus 2 is 14. You said it's AC 4. I just hit. That just does it.
Yep. So you're going to throw it off of you into the wall or something?
Yeah, we're back down into the cat. Yeah, I guess onto the floor so everybody can attack it so there's room.
We'll say, as you throw it down, we'll say D4 damage if you want to.
Okay. Excellent. 3. Strength bonus or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5.
5 damage. Okay. It doesn't
Yeah,
look too happy as you do that to it.
Yeah. I say, slay it, Dark One.
Make me another saving throw, Beth, against poison.
Oh, that's a 19, so 21. That's success.
Yep, you made it. So the poison is making its way through your bloodstream without any more ill effects, hopefully now.
Okay. All right, thankfully.
The creature is going to, let's see which one of them it's going to turn. It didn't like being thrown off like that, but yeah, it's going to run at you again, Beth, and tries to claw into you, but it is going to miss with the claws. Let's hope the bite misses. Oh, no. 19 on the die. I know that hits. You'll take 3 points of damage as it bites into you again, Beth.
All right, I am tasty.
Yep, you are. He likes you. Nightshade, we're up to you as this creature is attacking Beth.
Do I need to make another save because that was the bite? Or
Nope, not since you.
Okay,
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So Nightshade will move up in order to attack one of these creatures.
There's only one creature here.
Okay, he'll move up to attack that creature with his two-handed sword. And he hits armor class 1 for 4 points of damage.
Yep, you strike into it as it's trying to eat Beth. It doesn't seem to like that much, but it's still standing. So we're back to you, Digby.
Sorry,
you're muted.
Yeah, I was muted. So this time I only get my 1 attack for the second round. So I do a little spin and try a backhanded cut. And I roll a 13 with my bonus, which is only going to hit AC 4. Is that good enough?
Yeah, AC 4 is what it is.
Oh, shit. Okay. Awesome. So I do a little turn. And I'm like, and backhand cut him for shit. Yeah, I did max damage. So D6
7
plus 1. Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, you heard this thing very bad. It appears to not be standing much longer than you would think.
I cut into him, and you hear Digby go, "Ha ha!" Like that.
Beth, we're up to you then.
This thing bites into her again, and she now has her sword. Blood's dripping down her hand, and she just takes the sword and she just looks the thing in the eye, and she's just gonna bring the sword up and try to whack it. Oh, and she does not with the 8. No, 9. But that's still not gonna miss. Yeah.
Damn it!
It just,
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. It is going to turn its attention towards you now, Digby, as you've really hurt it. And it is going to claw into you and succeed. You'll take 4 points of damage from the claws, Digby.
Okay.
And then it's going to try to bite into you. Ooh, and the bite's going to hit for 6.
Oh,
make
shit.
a save versus poison.
So it's 4 and 6.
Yep, so 10 total damage, and then make a save versus poison.
All right. Hold on. I'm writing that in the wrong spot here. Save versus poison. I need a 12 or better. I got a 12 exactly.
Yeah, you feel kind of sick, your stomach or whatever, but you're able to fight off any effects of that. You would think just the damage.
Yes. So as this thing claws and bites into me, I'm just like, like that. You can tell it hurt him very badly.
Yes. I feel you, brother. I feel you.
I feel you, brother.
Nightshade, your 2 friends are are being eaten by this thing, but it seems to be it's in pretty bad shape too.
Nightshade says, feast on the sorrow of my blade of ice and sorrow. And he hits armor class 2
Yep.
for 8 points of damage.
As soon as you hit this creature, something happens. You hear this sudden violent burst of this blue flame just erupts and bathes everybody, all three of y'all, with just this magical energy. Just woof. Everybody will take 1 point of damage from it only, but it just kind of covers each of you. And Beth, roll me a d6.
This is how we become Power Rangers.
6.
All right. This is what. Let me see if I can copy this. If not, I'll type it in.
Oh boy.
Nope, I'm going to have to type it in for some reason. It may take me just a second because this is kind of long.
Oh. That's either good or bad. You can't really tell.
Let's see. There might be a couple. Let me see. Let me make sure that's right. Yep, this is what you hear in your mind in the common tongue, Beth.
Oh.
I may have misspelled a word or two, but you'll get the gist of it for right now for what you hear.
Oh. Okay.
And also, this release of this energy is, let me get on down. I'll start with you, Nightshade. Roll me a d4.
2.
Oh, wow. You got a good one.
Nice.
I think. I'm going to type in mechanically. As you see, you have a sword, right?
I do.
A big one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or else she has really small hands. It's two-handed.
Yes,
Could be a regular size sword. But just kind of
two-handed, but his hands are really small. It's actually a short sword.
There you go, Nightshade. You can
Hey.
describe how your sword, the effect as you start seeing it glow and stuff. That would be the effects it would have on it mechanically. You don't really know that, but I mean, you know something just happened to your sword.
Cool.
And what about Digby?
Okay.
What do you need me to roll again?
D4. I mean, sorry, D6.
D6. All right. I got a 2.
All right. I will send you a message.
It's a big sword. Huge, hugest swords ever. Ask anyone.
Yeah, so like as Nightshade has his sword, his huge two-handed sword, which is like all black and stuff. There are like nicks and things in the blade, but as this blue flame surrounds it, it's like it heats up almost like red hot, and you see like all of these nicks and stuff start to repair themselves and everything. And this like blue flame just kind of like rushes past the blade, like just fixing the entire blade, and the blade just shimmers almost shimmers in the darkness, almost like glistening like a dark pond or something. for just a moment.
Nice.
And Digby, that's what your sword, one of your swords, not both of them, but one of your swords starts glowing and stuff. And that's the effects, as you would know eventually.
Yeesh.
And roll me a d6, Beth.
6. 4.
And that's the effect you look at your sword, Beth, and notice happens in the mechanics of what it will be.
Wonderful. Okay. Is that visible? It turns black.
Oh yeah, it's everybody can see it.
Nice.
Huh.
So my sword turns black, and I look at Nightshade and I say, "What do you think about that?"
It is great that your soul has finally embraced the eternal void that waits for us all.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd think.
The creature.
Shall,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Nightshade just says, perhaps later we shall meet in the darkness. Forget it.
You went out when you started saying it. Sorry.
He says, perhaps later we shall meet in the darkness.
Yeah, so go check out that darkness over there. I'll be right behind you.
The creature that attacked y'all, you notice after it lies there, the body, it starts to transform back into a body of an old man, an old human.
Oh.
But it is dead. Or he's dead.
Is Zulia a man's name?
I tell you, everybody roll me. You can use intelligence or wisdom, your choice, and you would need to roll equal to or below. And let me know if anybody passes.
I did. I got 315.
I rolled a 20. Now I roll a 20.
Hey, are you in?
What about Nightshade?
I'm sorry, what was that, so Sorrel?
Intelligence or wisdom check, D20.
No, I got over. I failed.
All right, Digby, you're the only one that passed. You know, maybe you've heard a story or something, and once you see those names and you're looking and mentioning them again, you would know that these are probably some high priestesses of a long forgotten moon goddess. That these were 3 high priestesses, women of a moon goddess from long ago that were buried here.
All right, I'll share that with everyone.
Well, that's interesting because this person is a man.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Okay. See if I can just hide right here.
I would have thought that whoever attacked us came from the casket or the sarcophagus. The voices I heard in my head, Tony, was that a man or a woman's voice?
Definitely a man, an old man's voice.
Oh, okay, so it was the scarecrow. All right. So I say, wherever the body of the priestess is, she's not here. I'm curious as to what's in the other. Oh, by the way, I get that ring, right? Because I had scooped it up when I got attacked.
Yeah, you definitely got the ring.
All right. Does it seem valuable?
Do what now?
Does it seem valuable?
Do you touch it?
Oh yeah, I scoop it up. Yeah, put it
on. Well, make me a save, inverse magic.
I warned you.
And I rolled a 1.
Oh, you're good then.
Man, your whole hand is tingling and stuff. Your hand is like almost paralyzed. You know that there's something definitely about this ring, but it's not something you've ever dealt with before.
Yeah, this is not a good ring, guys. Can I get it off or no?
Oh yeah, excuse me. You can take it off, but you know it has some type of very strong magical property for sure that you'd have to have somebody look at.
Okay, yeah. So then I put it in the. I kind of like take it because I have the other two rings. So this one I kind of like wrap a little like piece of cloth around it so I don't mix it up with the other two rings, and I put it in the bag. And I said that one will get checked out by the magic users when we get home.
I warned you.
Do you think should we crack these other ones while we're here? Seems this old man may have had some kind of a cottage some 8 miles away with a secret entrance. I don't know if we want to try to go that way or if you want to stay here in the darkness.
I am always most comfortable in the labyrinth of shadows, but if we must travel across the lands, I shall suffer for you.
Well, don't put yourself out, lad.
So do you want to pop these two while we're here, or you want to leave well enough alone? Because clearly whatever was in the coffin, it seems, wasn't what attacked us. So we have no reason to think that what's in there is going to... I mean, unless what's in there killed this guy and turned him into what he was. That could also have been the case. Is there a burnt mark on the floor where he blew up? Like the match?
No, there is not. Is not
Okay.
one.
Huh. So I think we should open one of these coffins. I mean, that's what we're here for.
We did not get dressed up for nothing, that is for sure.
Exactly.
Well,
So
at least some of us didn't get. You still didn't really get all that dressed up, but that's okay.
Do you want to open up Ruella or Alor? Alor.
I think Outlaw.
Ruella sounds like a unpleasant woman.
Yes, I agree.
When you open up the coffin, I mean, y'all are able to move the lid off. I mean, with all of you doing it, and you see the body in there, the wrapped up, mummified body of probably what would have been Alor. You search, you find a golden cup
Ooh.
that you would think would bring about 60 gold pieces. You find a holy symbol that is of a crescent moon made out of bronze. It's worth about 20 gold. And then you see an amulet that is around this mummy's neck.
Okay, so I say, hold my beer. And I'll put my shield down so I can lean over, and I'm gonna carefully try to take the amulet off.
Yep, as you touch the amulet, make me a magic save. Spells or whatever I mean.
Okay, that's a 13. I get +2, so that's 15. Save spells is 16, so I still fail even with a 15.
Yeah, your hands, you know, they kind of return to normal, but as you touch the amulet, you know that it's some type of magic in this amulet too.
Am I able to get it, or it's like just
Yeah,
not?
you're able. You easily remove it, and nothing happens.
Cool. I'll put it in the sack. And I say, all right, that wasn't so bad. Let's put the lid back on. And I want to put the lid back on because leaving that lid on does not sound a good idea.
You can definitely get the lid back on.
Sorry, my dog is spazzing. Well, shall we open the third in that case then, or
Be my guest.
you're far stronger than I am?
Well, we know that's the truth. Fine, Beth will open it up.
It does it does not injure my pride to know that you have a stronger sword arm than I do.
You open up Ruella's coffin. You see another pretty much body wrapped there, pretty much like the other one. This one though has a silver cup instead of a gold one. The silver one is worth about 30 gold. You find a feather from probably some type of large bird. It's been dipped in gold. It's worth 15 gold. And as you look around at the deal, you see down on one of these skeletal toes, there's some type of toe ring, a gold
Ooh.
toe ring.
I mean, go big or go home is the way I look at it. So I'm going to take it off.
Yep, make another save against
Yeah.
spells.
It is not the first time I've taken a ring off a woman's toe. Let me just say that right now. That time I passed. 19 plus 2 is 21.
Yeah, you don't get anything from it now. I mean, you think it's just a regular gold ring.
Yep. All right. So I take that and I say, all right, so that's not bad. So far, so good. I'm feeling pretty positive here. Let's put the cap back on.
I help do that. And I say, so do we continue, or do we seem to have made quite the score?
I agree. I think that there is, the one more passageway we haven't explored. So I think it's worth checking out, to be honest with you.
Lead the way.
So I look at Shadow Man and I say, take us to the west door, my black knight, whose sword is not quite as black as mine.
Yeah, he will bow, and but it's sort of a long, creaky bow, and then he swiftly moves over to the door, and he will open it.
It's the door you come in from as you move that way, but as you do, something catches your eye. Roll me a d6.
5.
A 5. You find you look and see these rings that are kind of in the debris on the floor there as you're moving back to the door, but nobody saw when you come in. You reach down if you do, and you find these 5 rings of various colors and designs, and you would think they'd be worth about 5 gold piece each.
Okay. How many of them are there?
5 at 5.
Okay. He's gonna try each of them on just to make sure they're not magical or anything.
Yeah, make me a spell save.
Awesome.
You just make one for all of them.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
So you failed. You
Yeah.
are very confident that none of these rings are magical.
Okay. Yeah. So he'll place them in his pouch, and he'll tell them decorative rings, and he says, we shall divide them later at the tavern, and then he will continue.
All right. You go back out to the other door that is down there. As you enter this room, it appears to about 20 feet wide and goes for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet long, about 20 by 50. This long, narrow chamber appears to have once been sleeping quarters. Cut into the west wall are several bunks. The east wall to the left is undecorated, but has 2 visible alcoves. You notice also that there's bones, debris, and you notice a growth of all these mushrooms all around in the area of this floor everywhere. They're small and dotted with brown spots. All of y'all can make you can use intelligence or wisdom check and D20. If you pass, let me know.
I passed.
All right. If you pass
I passed.
your intelligence or wisdom check, you would know that maybe from talk, or maybe you've even seen these before. They're called lucky hats. And the stories have always been told that eating them brings you good luck and will make you feel better.
And you said they're mushrooms, right?
Yep, called lucky hats.
I'll cut a few and put them in my pouch.
All right.
So I'll add these to soup later.
I will do the same. if there's enough.
Anybody want to eat any of them now? I mean, come on, where's the brave people at?
Well, are we
Raw
supposed to
mushroom.
cook them, or we don't know? Like, what do we know like about them? Are they meant to be cooked, or we can just eat them raw?
You
Most
could
of
eat
them.
them. You could eat them raw. You think you've just
Oh,
heard
hell
legends about eating them. That
Oh
anyway.
yeah, definitely eat them. Oh yeah, come on. I mean, I am a chainmail bikini wearing fighter in a tomb. I'm eating some mushrooms.
All right, roll me a d6.
I
No,
will.
I'm sorry. Wait, make a save versus poison first. I'm sorry.
I'm going to as well. Just to let you know. So
Yeah, make
Nice.
save versus poison.
like that.
Okay, so that's 20. So that's a success.
All right.
I think
How
I'm
about
about
Nightshade?
a bad trip. Nightshade failed.
Nightshade, we'll start with you as you fail. You start getting a bad stomach ache. I mean, like you've ate some bad food. They didn't settle well with you at all.
Oh, the visions are so haunting. In my nightmares, they are crawling. Through my soul, they wander always. Oh, the shrooms. Oh, the shrooms.
I nudge Beth and I say, "This is why I always cook mine first."
How did mine go?
Beth, you passed. Roll me a d6.
Okay. 6. I never get that for damage.
Oh, wow. I will type into you the
Oh, boy.
effect of what happens. And
Have a wonderful trip.
Oh boy.
It's like everything becomes cartoon drawings and
Well, actually, everything probably is cartoonized. Oh wow.
yeah.
Holy. Wow. That actually affects my armor class then.
Yeah. So
Makes
that's
it one
pretty
better.
good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think it makes it one better. Yeah, I'll check it to make sure, but it should make everything one better. Oh, yes. You must eat the meat of the land to survive in this world, Digby. You can't always be pent up in the small chambers of the city, drinking the wine made by others' dirty feet as they stomp for you.
I open a pouch where I literally actually have a bottle of wine. I swear to God, I bought it. It's right there on my sheet. I can show it to you. Bottle of wine. So as you start talking about stomping the wine, I pull it open and I go, "No, this stuff's pretty good." And I pull
That
the
is true, actually.
I pull the drawstring back and I'll say, "I'll cook mine."
All right. In the wine, though.
Raw
Slap.
mushrooms taste like dirt,
Mm.
and these
Well.
fine lips do not eat dirt. Michelle starts snickering.
Let's see what else is in this room. Really, I don't think there's much else.
Oh man. So she's pretty stoned on the
Yeah.
mushrooms. Blackie's over there, pooping out the blackest poop he's ever done in the corner.
Oh God.
If you go to those recesses in the walls and look through them and look at them, it looks out into that very long hallway, the poison dart hallway, and you can tell where this is. They went in and set up the poison dart traps from here.
Okay, it's definitely a trap though. We don't see like it doesn't look like somebody was standing here blowing those
Oh
darts.
no,
at
no,
us.
you can tell it was set up long ago.
Does it look clear now? Still can pass or?
Yep, you can definitely tell. You would think if you went back through that way, and of course that's the only way to go. But this definitely will not be triggered anymore. You would think that it appears to all be gone.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, feeling like we got a pretty good a run here. We got some cups, we got some rings, we got a couple of holy symbols. We're not doing bad considering we were broke before we got here. Look at how black my sword is. I literally take my black sword and hold it up next to Nightshade, and his armor looks kind of like a dark gray.
Through the vanities always hailing, the soul internal wailing.
I'm just like, yes, with what we have gathered this day, we can there much revelry and celebration and
Well,
finery to be bought.
yes, if by finery you mean ale and wine and a big chunk of meat, I agree.
Yes.
I know you're wondering, how do I keep such a slender figure when I eat so much?
Oh, clearly
Aerobics.
it's the ex. I was going to say clearly the exercise, but you beat me to it.
I do step aerobics.
Yes, indeed. So
Yeah, so I guess we'll work our way out.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I have this clue. If I don't know if this is part of what we want to continue today, if it's possible, or if it's just a random clue that I got. But there's I heard the on Howler Hill, there's a quaint cottage in the wood valley, in the entrance to a secret workshop. So I think we should check that out. Unless that's something completely random. If Tony doesn't have anything for that, I don't know.
Well, you know what? It's actually, you got the clue that can be made into a different adventure
Next
from
adventure.
that. Yeah, so I mean, it's something we can do another time, because that's what I was looking for, to see how he has it worded in this module.
Digby,
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect.
Because you actually heard the what you heard. I mean, it just was random, but you actually heard, that's what he told you.
Nice. Okay.
Digby would put his hand over the bloody spots on his very fine white cloak lined in fur and say, yes, exploring that place would be great, but there are wounds to heal, there's wine to drink, and there's women to be had first. And
I'm not sure if I like that innuendo that you're making there, good sir.
I didn't necessarily mean you, but of course I'm open to all offers.
To be had.
Um,
Women have their own emotions, and you must treat them as equals.
well, of course
And always get
you
consent.
you only have them with their permission, of course.
Sure.
Because many a great man that is felled by the words of a woman. So
That's true.
And then whatever it is that he does.
Well, I'm not sure because it's always in the dark.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I guess with that we'll work our way out and hopefully not get killed on the way out.
You have to start making your way back
Man,
to
I
the
was
surface.
making more poetry. Damn.
Do it.
You make your
I'll
way back
read
to
it.
the ground surface, and plans head back to the tavern for now. You want to do that? You think?
That's what Digby would want to do, because I'm pretty
Well, I'll
hurt.
tell you what, Digby. Why don't you be the fate roller and roll me a d6 and see if you can make it back without running into anything.
Oh boy. Here we go.
A 5.
Yeah, y'all make your way back through the forest, get all your gear and all the stuff you found then, and you have the story that was put into the mind of Beth from the pearl man that y'all just completely slaughtered. And you make your way back to the tavern, and as you do, Beth, for part one, I guess we could say, how's the story going to end for Beth?
So Beth would, as they're leaving, she'll make sure she grabs her faithful companion who died bravely to the needle trap and carry him out, as best she can. We do have a shovel, so if it's too hard to carry him, maybe we bury him somewhere in the forest. He would have liked that under the stars. So she does that. Either she does it in the forest, or maybe she does it that night when they get back. She brings him out to a field and digs a hole and buries him there. She reads some stanzas of the elven poetry from his book and lays it on him on his chest as she puts the clots of dirt over him. And she says, you lived a short life, my friend, but you lived it well. And then she goes back and gets very drunk.
All right. Digby, how will the story end for your adventure into the Rotbutter Forest?
So Digby would make his way all the way back to to the tavern, and of course, being the bit of a pompous ass that he is, he would get himself cleaned. As he walks to the tavern, though, he would be with his pal, whose name I keep forgetting, Relmut, who, despite speaking down to him quite often, Relmut is quite possibly his finest friend, and he pats him on the shoulder and he says, "Come, Relmut, we have done well for ourselves, and you, my friend, continue to be the greatest companion that a man could have ever needed. We shall return to the tavern. We shall have wine, spirit, drink, food, and possibly spend the night with a lovely woman. Who knows? Perhaps we shall be lucky and gain the favor of the fierce redhead who travels with us. But if not, surely there will be one there that you and I may be able to spend our time with. Regardless of such, we live to go another day, my friend. Come." And I pat him on the back, and we go into the tavern, and of course I pay for, a fine bath and all that stuff to get drawn and clothes to be cleaned and all that stuff. I have to look my best, of course.
Of course. Because you seem to be more attracted to Beth now, as you've noticed her appearance. And she can tell you the why later. Nightshade, how's it going in?
Nightshade retires to the hotel and, has, that bad linger from that mushroom effect where he sits in a dark room writing poetry. 3 times I had the lust to kill, to clutch a throat so young and fair, and squeeze with all my might, until no breath of being linger there. 3 times I drove the demons out, though on my brow was evil sweat, and yet I know beyond a doubt, he'll get me yet, he'll get me yet.
All righty. Nightshade story ends. This ends the adventure known as Howling in Rotbutter Forest, playing Labyrinth Lord using Black Pudding issue 1 for the character classes. We had a chainmail chick, we had a black knight, and a sword slinger. Y'all keep notes on the effects that you had of your weapons if we go do part 2 of this. And also, this was based on an adventure by James West, who wrote Black Pudding, and the name of the adventure is called Howler. Took and modified part of it and used part of it for. And also, real quick, we'll if any of you eat any of the mushrooms at some point or cook them, we'll start with you, Digby. Roll me a d6.
I got a 1.
A 1, okay. I will type a message to you real quick, and you note this down real quick as you. This is the effect you will have, and it is permanent.
Oh boy.
And what about Nightshade?
A D6, no modifiers, you said?
Yep, just straight D6.
I
If
rolled
you
a
eat
6.
mushrooms, now if you don't want to eat them, you don't have to. That's up to you.
I rolled a 6.
A 6, okay. I will type in what happens to you. And it is permanent effect.
Oh boy.
All right, Nightshade. There you go. And Beth already ate some, so she's already got her effect.
Got mine. Yep. My effect was good.
Yep. And so was the other 2, really. Everybody had a good effect.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that will end.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I thought we were going to share what we got, but if we're not, that's fine.
Well, we can do that after the fact. I mean, unless you want to do it on recording, it don't matter to me.
I was just going to say, I think that Nightshade actually ends up writing like some fairly good poetry after all, or, because his charisma raises by 2. So everyone loves these like weird mushroom tripping poems that he writes.
He shall
Oh,
write a
you
book
muted,
of
Rush.
poetry. Yes, to say he shall write a book of mushroom poetry.
Book.
But yeah, this will end the first adventure. Beth was given a lead that maybe lead to something else if we want to come back and visit that. But besides that, that will end this one for now.
Nice.